Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. As many of us have seen on social media, the West African country Burkina Faso has chosen the harmful trend of other West African countries to outlaw homosexual acts just a week ago. This is exactly why I've been questioning this military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, who I've seen get lots of praise on social media for supposedly cleaning up Burkina Faso in recent years. I started to see red flags when I realized he was a very religious military leader who gained power after a coup. He was celebrated by the greater black diaspora around the world for kicking out colonial entities and foreign governments, particularly France, their European colonizers. But at the same time, his own human rights reputation isn't the best. Once people started seeing mentions of Traore collaborating with Putin and Russia, I knew this guy couldn't be trusted. New dictators are rising every day. Captain Traore seized power in 2022 after forcing another military ruler, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, from office. Now in 2025, gay sex is illegal with a punishment of 2 to 5 years in prison. If you want me to see this as a win just because he cut ties with France but then aligned with Russia, you got the wrong channel. According to Wikipedia, Burkina Faso has sustained relatively low HIV rates compared to other neighboring countries. But as an HIV expert, I can tell you this will likely get worse now that gay sex will be criminalized, meaning that people will continue to do it, but with less prevention and healthcare options. I think it's important to remind everyone that until 2025, Burkina Faso never really formally criminalized gay sex. So why in the world would this government all of a sudden make this an issue when there was no issue with gay people before? Sounds like a common distraction, scapegoating. So these leaders can make off with the money and blame foreign entities. But the cycle will continue until the citizens themselves see past the lie and no longer blame gay people for their issues and realize gay people aren't the reason they lack funding, education, and more social benefits. Burkina Faso, like so many other West African countries, has a recorded history of indigenous homosexuality in the country. In the 1995 book Of Water and the Spirits by Maladome Patrice Sommet, a Burkinabe author, he mentions how gay men were a part of the culture. Though I haven't yet read this book, I've heard about it for many years, but what I didn't know is that he shared a candid remark in the book about how many of the spiritualists he encountered during his research in Burkina Faso were gay. In an extended quote from Of Water and the Spirits, Some basically breaks down the Dagara spiritual belief that gender has very little to do with anatomy and that a higher spiritual attunement can make certain individuals vibrate at a higher frequency, making them gay or gender nonconforming, a point that many gay and LGBT activists have been saying for many years. He goes on to note that many of the spiritual leaders in his community that were taking him through his own initiation were gay. We need to start calling this type of persecution for what it is, especially in the courts. It's religious persecution. If I believe that me being gay or being with men is my religious right, as someone of an indigenous African spiritual practice, and this concept has been recorded in African history, then forcing me to act as a Christian or under Christian law is religious abuse and persecution. Now, it shouldn't matter what you believe, but it's the truth. I think a shift away from talking about human rights and getting to what most of these people really believe in, religious freedom, then I think that's how many of us, especially if you have religious or spiritual beliefs, this is how we should be phrasing this conversation. Just my opinion. Anyway, we need to keep the LGBT community in Burkina Faso in our thoughts and do what we can to contribute to their liberation.